What's going on, everybody? Sean Daniel here with GuitarControl.com. Today is a day like no other because we're learning a song that you will need to have in your guitar repertoire for all of time. Hey Jude by the Beatles. Very easy version that we're going to do, so make sure you click the link below because I'm going to have all the chords for it. Super simple, but also really kind of a masterclass in songwriting, composition, and structure, and how to use dominant 7 chords and their role within a progression. So we're going to break it into 3 different parts. Like I said, capo's on the 3rd fret, and we're going to start with the D major chord. So first of all, I'm just going to play, there's a verse, a chorus, and a super power outro that has united the world in peace and will once more someday. So the verse sounds like this in an easy way. Okay, so really the strumming is super simple. We're just doing all downstrokes. A bar is going to be 4 counts. And again, if you have this D major chord, your middle finger is relative to the capo. 2nd fret on the high E string, ring finger 3rd fret on the B string, pointer finger 2nd fret on the G string. Just trying to get the highest 4 strings. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it, that's a bar. Okay, so 1 bar of D, and then go to A major, where it's just the 2nd fret on the D, G, and B string, maybe the bottom 5 strings down. 1, 2, 3, 4. So really those first 4 chords are going to be D, A, A7, D. You can play it D, A, A, D. Whenever you see a 7 chord, which is short for dominant 7, you can always just keep A. We could just do D to A to D. But when we start to introduce this dominant 7 chord, the only way that's different is now I've opened up the G string, so it's 2D, open G, 2B. What that does is it pushes the progression in a certain direction. Almost always in music, it pushes it in a direction where if this is the dominant 7, A is the dominant 7 chord, we're going back to the home chord of a key. Now what that really means, just really quickly, is whenever you use a dominant 7 chord, most of the time, you're 5 notes in a scale away from where you're going to go. So again, we went from A to D. If we start with D as 1 in the key of D, forget about the sharps and flats right now, just D, E, F, G, A, right? A is the 5th of D. Whenever you make that 5 chord a dominant 7 chord, it wants to go back to the 1, which we're actually going to get to later on in the song, but we just have D, A, A7, D, a bar each. 1, 2, 3, 4 to A, 2, 4 to A7, and that forces us back to D. Now we're going to continue on to a G chord, back to D. Now we're going to go same thing, but A, split the bar with A7, back to D. Okay, so that's going to be the whole verse, and if we do that 2 times in a row, it's going to take us somewhere else, okay? Now this is going to be the chorus of the song, and it's going to sound like this. Okay, so this is kind of a very similar progression strumming wise. I'm still just really kind of getting downstrokes for all of these, but what we did is we went from a D major to a D7, okay? So, now a great way to be like, alright, well, these are a lot of chords, it's hard for me to memorize the structure of this. Learning that dominant 7 trick and counting backwards through 5 or whatever is a great way to figure this out. So, again, we ended the verse on a D major, we started the chorus on a D7. That's really a great indication of maybe like a key change or just some kind of way to switch up the chords that we're using. So let's count backwards. We need to find out what D is a 5th of. Okay, we can count backwards from D. It's hard to count backwards through letters, but we can do it. D, C, B, A, G. A D7 almost always leads you to a G. Okay, this is no exception. So the chorus progression, we have D7, a full bar. Now we kind of pick it up a little bit. G, 2 beats, B minor, 2 beats, E minor, 2 beats. Okay, so we're starting to really slowly but surely work our way through a little bit more of like a melodic content thing. Now we're introducing a couple new chords to the progression. B minor, everybody's favorite, we got right here, okay? So pointer finger is on the 2nd fret of the A string, ring finger is on the 4th fret of the D string, pinky is on the same fret, but on the G string, middle finger's 3rd fret of the B string. You can get a bar to have your pointer finger hold down the high string too, like that. Not necessary, we really just need the middle 4 strings. If you want to make it a bar chord, that's cool. If bar chords are difficult for you, don't worry about it. This is about attitude, about just rocking it. So 2 beats of G, 2 beats of B minor, then 2 beats of E minor. Really super easy one right here. Just open E, 2A, 2D, open G, open B, open E. So 2 beats of G, 2 beats of B minor, 2 beats of E minor, back to G, then back to A7, 1, 2, 3, 4. What did we say usually comes after A7? Remember, it's where A is the 5th. We can count, let's count backwards from A. A, in the musical alphabet, before A we go back to G, F, E, D. D is always what follows it up, so think of that as going back to a D. So full bar of D7, 2, 3, 4, 2 counts of G, 2 counts of B minor, 2 counts of E minor, back to G for 2 counts, a full bar of A7, 1, 2, 3, 4, back to D. Then we can just repeat that whole thing, but switch to dominant 7. 2 counts of G, B minor, E minor, G, A7. And then now we kind of have this little interlude bridge, if you want to look at it this way. Really simple, it's just D to D7 to A7. And then that's going to bring us back to the verse chords, because again, that verse starts on D, A7 is a great way to lead back into that. Okay, so we have, let's just run through the verse to the chorus really quickly. Starts on a D. To A, full bar of A7, then a full bar of D, full bar of G, full bar of D, A, split it with an A7 if you're nasty, then to D. Then if you go right into the chorus, D7, G, B minor, E minor, back to G, then A7, D. Okay, so now I'd be remiss to really just give special importance to probably the greatest outro of all time. Just goes on and on because it needs to go on and on. And we're introducing one other chord into this progression. That's going to be a C major chord. I like playing a C major chord. This is the one that most people see. Ring finger 3rd fret on the A string, middle finger 2nd fret on the D string, open G, pointer finger 1st fret on the B string, and then open on the high E string, okay? I actually like playing it where my ring finger is on the lowest string 3rd fret, pinky is on the B. I just think it gives a fuller sound, especially when you're kind of trying to add a little more energy and how this outro usually works. Again, whenever we play the song live, it's just everybody pays attention, especially, and they just kind of wait for the outro, which is great. So we're gonna get to this chord, but basically we start with the D. 2, 3, 4 to C, 2, 3, 4 to G, 2, 3, 4 back to D. Okay? So again, now this is really just the same as everything, where it's just a bar, everything is downstroke. I really think it kind of helps to maybe add a little bit more, a little bit extra to the outro here, because it is that important. So at the very least you could do it like this. Okay, so all that is instead of just 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm getting the lower part of it. I'm going like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the way that's happening, I'm just using my, if you see my pick here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I'm not making full strokes every time. I'm getting a full one on the 1 and on the and. I'm just getting kind of like the lower part of the chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and C and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 down up. And also at the end, it's a quick down up. So how you know how we're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That kind of down up at the end is a great way to get into a transition to a next chord. Especially that one right there, because this progression starts on a D, D, C, G, D, and it also ends on a D. So I think it's also important to kind of add something to that last chord to signify that you're starting it over again. Otherwise, instead of thinking of playing 8 Ds in a row, I think it's better to think of playing 4 D chords in a row twice. So what I mean by that is, like, if this is the 4th one in the progression, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. See how I kind of left? Even just hit open strings. Just like that. And then it starts it over again, and then you just kind of ride that out all the way home, right? So basically that's it. Make sure you click the link below to grab the chords. I think this is something that, even though it is a couple different parts, 3 different parts, and then you have the interlude, so you can count that as 4 parts or 3.5, however you want to cut it out. I think it's really not too bad to memorize, and really just a great way to start using a little bit of knowledge in music theory, as far as like how a 7 chord is always going to lead back home to its 1 chord, where it's 5 away from. Starting to see chords as groupings and be able to count through them, I think, is really helpful. This is an absolute killer, classic song everybody should know. And really, make it educational, put it in your back pocket. You'll never know. Even if you're not a fan of the Beatles or Hey Jude and you're just a total contrarian, it's good to be able to whip this one out anytime, anywhere. And someday, you will thank us here at Guitar Control for helping you do that. So make sure you click that link below, grab the chords, check out other videos on the Guitar Control channel from me, other really cool instructors. Let us know what you want to see, and we'll talk to you all soon. Thanks a lot.